Yeah.
I think we have such diverse people for marketing, and we all know that how marketing has evolved over the decade. So, what do you guys think? How it was 10 years back and how it is right now? Like, what are the major changes? What are the major challenges you face? What do you guys think?
I think there's been a sharp increase from earlier advertising and marketing was more TV and radio based, but now it's more social media based. You see the emergence of meme marketing, which
Yeah.
is something new, which never happened earlier, and the eyeballs are right now at social media. Earlier, the eyeballs used to be on TVs or outside on billboards and everything like that. But right now, if you see an Indian average, a lot of people are spending their time on social media. So that has kind of pivoted to social media, where everyone in the D2C space is just focusing on social media and Google to get their marketing done.
Yeah, and I think influencer marketing has also changed the way we look at the businesses and consume content. For example, Mama Earth got its initial success जिसके कारण वो आज यूनिकॉर्न
Yeah.
बन गया इतनी जल्दी. It's like the fastest growing D2C company. It was only on the basis of the influencer marketing. Like
Yeah.
किसने सोचा था कि when you were reading newspapers जहाँ पे ads आती थी front
Yeah.
pages पे कि Instagram पे कोई आदमी promote करेगा and then you'll feel like buying the product. That
Yeah.
age we never thought of. And in the coming years robots will be promoting about the products. Just imagine you're on the thela having juice and some robot is coming saying that ये आपके बारे में सुना है क्या ये product के बारे में आपने so I think it's going to change massively. And with technology shift and everything happening on the innovative side, we're going to see so many new different ways of marketing coming up. And I think people who don't innovate are ultimately going to fail. So the answer lies in innovating quickly and adapting to whatever new is happening in the world.
I think major shift in towards social media has profited Harnish the most, I feel.
Yeah. कितना पैसा
Indeed,
बनाया ये
Anna,
पूछ लो.
so in fact when you spoke about 10 years में कितना change हुआ है, I would rather rephrase it एक साल में कितना change हुआ है, because the way it's evolving, 10 years is an eternity. Like how marketing used to work 10 years back and how it's working today is completely different. It's a new world, right? And I think that one of the biggest changes is the attention span. Like 10 years back, you had an attention span of around 30 seconds, a minute, right? And that's why you saw all these long form advertisements. You saw all these billboards that had a lot of content on it, right? A lot of information. Like today, the attention span is 8 seconds. And there was a recent study which Meta did, and the average time a user is gonna give before scrolling up on a video ad is 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So a marketer has 2 seconds to grab the eyeball. So what you do in that first 2 seconds, to promote yourself is something which is gonna work for you. So it's just evolving so quickly. And of course, I completely agree with Radhika that influencer marketing has been a game changer, and it's here to stay, at least for the time being, right? It's just a 5-6 year old industry probably where it's really picked up, and it's already contributing. I was just reading an article to about $21 billion last year, and this year is projected to be around 40 to 50 billion dollars. So it's just growing, and almost about 80% of D2C companies have committed to at least having some budget aligned towards influencer marketing. So those ATL activities where people used to invest so much of money, previously, it's really kind of changing, and it's bottling down into these new age activations where you can really micro target your existing clients or your new clients as well.
Yeah. But I think with such shifts also, there must be very big challenges also you might be facing, like probably misleading advertisements. And because let's take Patanjali's case.
Yeah.
Like they claim that their products would heal cancer or thyroid or sugar. So and then Supreme Court kind of asked them to stop advertising such things.
People have now started reading labels, which is a big change that we've seen in the past year. And I think COVID was that catalyst where people are starting to live healthier lifestyles. But yeah, like a lot, there needs to be some regulation for misleading ads, because a lot of companies that we've been consuming since our childhood have actually a lot of content which we shouldn't be consuming. So I think there needs to be some regulation on the misleading ads front, where you can advertise what your ingredients are, But yeah, a lot of good influencers also have come up and are raising their voices against these companies, and people have really started to see what they're consuming, what they're putting into the body. So I feel that's a step towards a healthier change, and hopefully it continues and grows.
I think Food Farmer is one of the
Yeah.
leading guy fighting this battle. Like he's
Yeah.
doing a
Yeah.
wonderful job.
Exactly, and he also in the start faced a lawsuit because of that for doing the
Yeah.
for
From
telling people.
Bonvita, I
Yeah.
suppose.
But I think, businesses and brands like the Whole Truth Foods, which are promoting about their ingredients very precisely on their packaging, they are overruling products like Patanjali ka brand, because I think if you don't innovate again, you're going to die down. Consumers are not going to come back to you because they're getting intelligent more and more
Yeah.
with consuming the different kind of contents on social media today, and you have this Consumer Protection Act already with you since 1986. And I remember cases like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, सबके against consumers have filed complaints and gotten like crores of rupees. So I'm sure that the brands want to save that money and not just like throw out like that. And they have to be very conscious on what they're writing about their ingredients. So if they don't innovate, they're going to lose it to, the new age brands like Whole Truth Foods, and they're going to rule, which they are anyways. If you see the market share of Patanjali, it has significantly dropped down, and their sales एक जमाने में कितना हुआ करता था जब
Yeah.
बाबा रामदेव आके प्राणायाम करते थे टीवी पे, बट उसके बाद से लाइक जैसे उनका इमेज गया, पतंजलि का भी इमेज गया, एंड लाइक दे अक्वायर्ड रुचि सोया, I think that acquisition also was not successful. Building on that personality brand of Baba Ramdev, but I don't think so that's going to work out in the longer run, because consumers are ultimately going to look at what they're consuming, not who is selling that consumer product to them. This Whole Truth Foods also, they write no sugar, 90% dates and whatever ingredients. They don't write ki it will solve your diabetes just because it doesn't have sugar. So of
Yeah.
course that's like an outright marketing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're doing,
Right.
by claiming ki अरे sugar नहीं है इसमें तो diabetes आपका खत्म ही हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
And Anupam Mittal का interview I was seeing where he was saying that you can only build a brand for long term if it communicates across generations and not just like younger Gen Z generation. Even though we have 60% of the young
Yeah.
population in the country, but if you don't cater to the rest of the 35% senior population, you're ultimately going to fail in the market. So I think somewhere you have to communicate across different age groups. Otherwise, the best one wins. वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
But see, again, that's the problem. The companies who will acquire Whole Truth Foods might then change them after acquiring. You never know, because all of these multinationals, like the Nestle case in the US, they own more than 80% of the bottled water in the US, and they have it branded under the premium and the most cheapest segment. And ultimately, you're getting a very similar kind of water. It's just marketing that has been played to you.
Mhm.
So you can call it nutrient rich water or whatever you want, but ultimately it's that kind of similar water. So I feel that shouldn't happen once these companies are also acquired, where the ingredients are changed by using different names which the consumers don't understand. So I think a lot of change needs to come from the multinationals as well, because they have the higher market share. So if they can actually change that, then the health benefits will be passed on to the consumer. And you're seeing that, like Maggie reduced the sugar content, Bonvita reduced the sugar content, the Nestle recently.
In fact, this Horlicks I read about
Horlicks,
yesterday, where Horlicks has been asked to not promote themselves as a health
Health,
drink,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
they've been doing for eternity, right? Bonvita has been promoting itself as a health drink for, like, I mean, when we were kids, I'm sure our moms have thought that, okay,
Yeah.
say, तुमको benefit मिलेगा, it's immunity boosting and all of that things, and we've all had Bonvita at some point of time and Horlicks.
Yeah.
So times are changing for
Yeah.
sure, but I think there's still a long way to go where a lot of these legacy brands will get into the bandwagon of making these kind of changes.
There was that tagline also, na, आपको hide Horlicks नहीं
Complan.
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 मेरा तो
Complan.
hype नहीं था।
I know. उन पे किसी ने कैसे नहीं lawsuit file किया यार अभी
Exactly.
तक.
Anytime you find like that, like colloquially, anytime you see a short person, you be like, Complan नहीं पिया बचपन में,
Yeah.
and that is so wrong. Like,
Yeah,
that is so
I
wrong.
used to get jittery कि मेरे को यार आप complain क्यों नहीं दे रहे हो, मम्मी
I
को
mean,
हमेशा
that's
complain करती
marketing,
थी.
right? They are
Yeah, but
actually
it's-
like they're just showing a kid hanging. Right? it kind of okay, हाँ ये तो मैं भी करता हूँ,
Yeah.
right? And then it shows you Complan पी के तुम height बढ़ा सकते हो. So it's again, it's at the end of the day, they've served their purpose. I mean, we
Yeah.
can see everything in two lens, right?
Huh.
They succeeded in good marketing. You know,
Yeah.
the ad that they made, right? It got mothers to consider that okay यार मेरे बच्चे का अगर height नहीं इतना ज़्यादा है
हाँ.
अभी से ही मैं Complan अभी से पिलाना शुरू करूँगी तो बढ़ जाएगा, right? So they've succeeded in marketing. Of
Yeah.
course, I mean it's very subjective if it's right or wrong. But at the end of the day, like everything is subjective, don't you think so? But when I say again times are changing, another very good example that comes to my mind is Fair and Lovely, right? Where they've been forced to change the name
Ah.
itself,
Glow and Lovely.
right? Sorry?
Glow and Lovely.
Glow
I
and
think.
Lovely, something
Yeah.
like that, right? Which was also from the backlash of discrimination and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm glad that the government and even these brands are taking steps in the right direction. But yes, there's indeed a long way to go.
Yeah, Complan pe se I just want to share something. It's so misleading to consumers, you know, because I remember that I was like 5-year-old and my grandfather, he's a little short in height. I was telling him, Complan क्यों नहीं मिलाते यार दूध में? I was like, shit, ये brand गलत मेरे को सिखा रहा है.
Branding is so ingrained into the Indian consumer
Yeah.
mindset कि मैगी में लेट निकलने के बाद भी
Yeah.
खा रहे हैं, मतलब अभी भी खा रहे हैं, मतलब अब तो बंद कर दो. No one asks for noodles. People associate noodles with Maggi.
Yeah.
People associate chips with Lay's, water with like mineral water with Bisleri. मतलब India
Right.
में it's always कि मेरे को brand चाहिए and then you get a different branded product.
But why do you think so many brands want to enter the Indian market suddenly? Because as a market, we are so open to trying out all of these new things, and we are easy to convince as well.